We are here in front of the federal building to denounce what happened 2 days ago, where there was a national announcement regarding a settlement that had been reached between the Office of the Comptroller of the Currency, the Federal Reserve, and the banks. A settlement calling for $8.5 billion to cover up the crimes that have been committed against families on their foreclosures between the period of 2009 and 2010. Occupy Fights Foreclosures and homeowners are denouncing this as a settlement not for the people, but a settlement that benefits only the banks. Today we have with us homeowners who have lost their homes or are losing their homes, and they feel offended by such settlement. Again, we have seen another failure by those people that's supposed to be protecting the families. Those agencies, prosecutors that's supposed to be protecting the families, we see them selling out the American people. We are fed up with settlements that only benefit the agencies that are settling with the banks. Here in California, there was a settlement for $18 billion. Homeowners are only receiving the amount of $840 for having lost their homes. It is offensive, it is criminal, it is fraudulent, the kind of settlements that they are reaching with the criminals. I'm going to introduce homeowners that will speak their stories.
My name is Hector Velaro. I happen to live in Santa Monica. I tried the modification process for 2.5 years. They have denied for so many reasons, and I don't have any answer yet. I'm losing my home. I have another trustee sale on the first modification that I tried to modify to government help, consumers affairs, senator's office, congressmen, and so far I have 2 sale days going on my property. And I had talked to Washington, I had talked locally to see if we can stop the sale date and the foreclosure, and nobody seems to have the power to do it. So we homeowners are very weak, and we keep on losing our homes, our family. My grandson that lost the house in Arizona has to go to Maryland to live because they're taking our homes. That is human rights country. Shame on all of you.
What I would like to say is I'm a homeowner also. I'm in federal court building behind you. The tragedy in this is that Kamala Harris is an elected official. We elected her because of her slogan that she's going to fight crime, when in actuality she hasn't fought any crime for us as homeowners. Now what she's allowed these banks to do is make a settlement, $8.5 billion. Kamala Harris has not even been accountable for the last settlement. Most homeowners have not seen any parts of that money. Besides that, most homeowners would rather stay in their home. So you as an elected official, you are elected to protect us and serve us. It is our human right for housing. It is not a privilege. It is not something that is given to us. It is a human right. It is a basic need, housing and shelter. Along with the settlement that Kamala Harris has agreed to, I am confused as to why we are not indicting, why we are not prosecuting, why are we not sending these banks to jail. They are knowingly, openly admitting their crime, their fraud upon us, upon the people. They are knowingly admitted it. And what we're doing is allowing them to get a slap on the hand, a slap on the wrist, and we're allowing them to pay their way out of it. Well, it's not fair because the American people can't pay their way and stay into their homes. This system has been so corrupt and there's no one standing up to do anything about it. Again, these are elected officials. We need to think about who we're electing, and the next time we go to the polls, if they're not working in our favor, they don't need to be in the position they're in. Please allow me to entertain you for just a second. I have something. Trillions of dollars lost worldwide, the collapse of dozens of national economies, including the near collapse of our own here in the United States. Millions of homes are in foreclosures. Millions of people are homeless. $750 billion in taxpayers' bailouts, as well as multiple insurance claims on their louses. There has been less than billions of dollars paid in settlements from our own Justice Department. This has been a tragedy. Make no mistake, American people. But the criminals that are attacking us and are taking our homes are bribing their way and paying their way out of prosecution and paying their way out of any wrong. The American homeowners have the right. We have suffered under physiological and psychological stress and terror from the banks, being evicted, sheriff's department coming and knocking on your door at 6 a.m. in the morning. We have the right to home. Article 25 of the Human Rights Declaration guarantees all people the right to home, the right to own a home. Not a tent, but to own a home where you can feel safe and you can feel secure. The homeless rate in California is steadily increasing. The sad part about this is the average age of the homeless rate right now is the age of 6. Why? Because so many families are getting evicted or getting put on the street. And every family has a minimum of 2 to 3 children. So we're not realizing what impact we're having on that as well. We must take back our homes. The banks purposely targeted a particular generation, a particular group of people, Black and Latinos. This was no accident. This was planned exploitation of us by subprime mortgages and other predator lending practices to exploit our dreams of having and owning an American home. Our government had made it abundantly clear that they have absolutely no intention on defending our human rights. Our laws have failed us as a people and have failed to protect us. Not only are they oppressing us, they are also showing injustice every day by protecting the banks. We as people have to come together collectively. I tell people, if you're facing a foreclosure or eviction, do not leave your home. We need to stand together. We need to fight back with these banks. And the sad tragedy of it is, we also have to fight back with our lawmakers. Because instead of our lawmakers putting the gloves on and getting a little dirty, they'd rather sit behind a desk, sign with a silver pen for a settlement that does no justice to the homeowners. Thank you.
All power to the people.
Wow, that was really well said. One of the things that that the bankers like to put under the ground, they like to parade those people that have lost their jobs and are losing their homes. They like to parade them out in front of you as deadbeats. Well, I'll have you know that we are not deadbeats. We have not lost our job, but because of predatory lending, we're losing our home. And we didn't start off losing our home. We've been seeking help for over 6 years. For over 6 years, we've been writing government officials and seeking help long before we became behind on our mortgage. And do you know why we became behind on our mortgage? Because they offered us a modification, and they called it a temporary modification. And after they were finished with us, so that they were paid, as Neil Borowski says in his book Bailout, as we finished paving the way for them, then they said we didn't qualify and asked for all the back payments, and that put us in arrears. And they're playing this game with millions and millions of homeowners, but when they publish the articles, they say they lost their jobs, they got ill, that something happened, and that's why they're losing their homes. But there's millions of people that have a story out there that isn't like that. And if this continues, for those of you who are safe in your homes, you're going to lose equity. And who knows when they come after you, because they foreclosed on people to whom they don't even own the note. That's my
Yeah.
Okay, I'm a homeowner.
Say your name.
Oh, my name is Kathleen Hughes, and I would like to be in my home instead of the money. That's all I have to say. I don't need the money. I don't want the money. I want my money.
I just lost my home, and it was paid for reason, and the bank that foreclosed on me, I've never done any dealing with. They just got some fraudulent papers and brought them out and served them and put me out of my home. No notification or anything. Came to my house 8 o'clock in the morning and told me I had 40 minutes to get out. So I had to leave everything, even my medication and everything, to get out of the house, and then they locked it out. Locked up everything. So no place to go, nothing. No clothes or no anything. You didn't have a chance to get anything. And so this is ridiculous. And my home is paid for, and people who are trying to take it need to prove that they have a right to take it. Thank you.
Yeah.
I'm speaking here today along with Occupy Fights Foreclosures. We're very disappointed in the current settlement that the OCC made with the banks. We see it as an inside job. And as a homeowner who is barely holding on to my home, I plan to fight this every step of the way so that we finally get some justice and we get the banks to actually look at all of us here who have suffered, who have lost homes, lost everything we invested in our homes, and the banks are getting they're not getting any punishment for this, and we find it wrong, and we're going to fight it to the very end. Power to the people.
Oh, power to the people.
Power to the people.
This is Richard Castaldo.
Hi, yeah, I'm Richard Castaldo. I just think this settlement is crazy. I think they should, I think it's able to stay in your house. I don't think anybody really wants the money per se. I think we should just stay in our house. And I think this settlement was a bit way too good. So, I now kind of got the hook from prosecutions, which I don't think is right. I think we need to do something more to address this to keep people in their houses. That's all I was going to say.
Mi nombre es Rufina Pérez. Mi nombre es Rufina Pérez y yo quiero hablar de parte de mi familia, la familia Pérez de Anaheim, California. Y quiero decirles que hace poco conseguimos que el banco nos diera una modificación en nuestra casa después de mucha batalla que luchamos por varios meses. Y después de darles al banco nuestro primer pago mensual, nos avisan que tenemos 3 días para salirnos porque la casa ha sido vendida de nuevo. Y para mí eso es una injusticia, algo que no vamos a aceptar, que no nos vamos a estar con los brazos cruzados a ver qué juego el banco quiere jugar hoy. Y la verdad que pienso que es tiempo de que toda la gente se una y que diga hasta aquí, porque yo sé que nosotros no somos los únicos y hay que parar con la vergüenza, hay que parar con eso de que no, pues hay que dejar que me pase a mí o ese no es mi problema, porque no todos sabemos a alguien o hemos escuchado de alguien que ha perdido su casa, que nomás están quedando sentados en el sillón, que no están haciendo nada sobre el caso. Y a mí no me da pena, yo quiero que todos escuchen mi voz, que escuchen la historia de nosotros, porque así igual que nosotros hay muchos y no nos vamos a dejar. Y pienso que es tiempo que digamos hasta aquí, ya no vamos a aguantar más. Enough is enough. And my name is Rufina Perez, and I represent the Perez family in Anaheim, California. And I just would like to say that after a rough battle with the banks for 2 months, 2 to 3 months, we finally got them to give us a loan modification. And we've been fighting this for 4 years, trusting these people that said that were going to help us. And I think it's time for the American people to say enough is enough. just like we're doing with all these, you know, schools and stopping the gun violence, this issue is just as strong. It's affecting just as many families. It's affecting just as many kids. Like she said, there's the homeless, the regular homeless person is 6 years old, and that breaks my heart to think that a child is out on the street and the bank is full of money in their pocket. We don't want their money. We want our homes. How's a child going to sleep under a tent with money? They need their homes. They need their shelter. And I think enough is enough. And just like we're putting an end to that, I think we should put an end to this, because this issue is just as strong. Thank you.
Are the people.